Hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Um, Miss Tiff here. Oh, let's not look at the back of my head today. How y'all doing? Um, let's see. I got a couple of things to do that I tried to do before. Didn't work. Thought I would do it while the intro was playing, but it did not work. So, hmm. So today we are just going to talk about Reconstruction. And I have a video that I recorded maybe a couple of weeks ago that I had to do some like pretty serious reconstruction on. So I'm going to go ahead and get that pulled up here in a second. And we're going to watch it while I explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, because it's going to look crazy. It's going to look a little bit like, what is she doing with that blade? Hmm. But I need to show it because a lot of times people need it and I need a way to explain it. So this is probably, if I sent you this video, the reason why I sent it is because this is what you need. And I need to show you because it's much easier to show you than it is to explain it, because it's kind of complicated to explain. I mean, normally when I explain it, reconstruction will be because somebody will have locks that are, it's usually too small. When locks are too big for the curl pattern, it's really not a lot that you can do. But when they're too small, you can sometimes connect them. But I don't really call that reconstruction because if they're both there, if there's two locks that are too small, they're next to each other, you put them together and they end up a good size, then that's not really all that complicated to explain. But sometimes if you have two locks that are too small, but you put them together, that either makes them too big or it makes like a long, weird rectangle or something. A lot of times that doesn't work very well. So in that case, you wouldn't take two and put them together because that would be worse. And so, what I how I explain it is that I'll take three and I'll cut the one in the middle off, and then I'll split the hair up between the two. But and I do some of that in this video, but it's just really easier to show you. So, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up. Let's see. Okay, so this client called me and I usually have people send me a picture of their hair. So she sent me this picture, and you can see that it's really like thin in that spot, like it's very little hair there, and it looks like it's about to break off. And it probably was. Um, and so I immediately, like she can tell it's something wrong. I can immediately tell that there's something wrong. Um, and so she said, "This is how my hair is in some parts of my head. The last stylist kept making them smaller and smaller. I just had my hair retwisted a month and a half ago, but it seems like some of them are going to fall off. My hair is not damaged at all, though," which I thought that was kind of funny. But so it's not usually the stylist making them smaller. It's usually that they made them too small to begin with. Okay, so I sent her a video that I made maybe a year or so ago that says 5 reasons your locks are thinning. And basically, in that video, I talk about locks that are too big or too small. I talk about locks that are not maintained on a regular basis. She said, "Just saw the video. Can you help?" So I told her, "I always recommend starting over as the best plan because starting correctly is better than fixing." So if anybody sees this video and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe what you're doing to her locks," just understand that I recommended that she start over first. Because starting correctly is better than fixing. It just is. If, making the adjustments that I make, you have to maintain your hair regularly in order for it to take in the new positions, and you have to get it maintained more regularly than you used to. So normal maintenance is 4 to 6 weeks. I recommend 3 weeks when we do the kind of things that I'm going to do in this video. And so I told her, but depending on how long you've been locking, you may not want to do that, which is a lot of people after they've been doing it 6 months or more. I mean, I had a girl message me and say she had started her locks 2 weeks ago. Or no, she said 2 months, 2 months. But she said that she didn't, like the parts and stuff, and she wanted me to fix it. But it's just like, if it's only been 2 months, you should comb that out and you should start it right, because the things that I have to do to fix it are not better than just starting it correctly in the first place, but it can get it in a better position. So um, that girl did opt to start over, which is good, but this lady did not want to start over, which is why I have this video. And so I told her the same thing I just said, which is one of the options is to connect two locks together wherever it's thinning at. Hopefully the lock beside it is also too small for the curl pattern. When it isn't, it becomes more complicated to fix. And I call that reconstruction. And we do it alongside maintenance. So you choose retwist and reconstruction when you book. Okay, so let's get to her hair. So as you can see, I got these in my hand. So before I first thing that I start doing, which I've been doing far, but I didn't record yet, was a lot of times when locks are too small, this will happen. They will bunch up on themselves. A lot of times people think that when you start your locks, they're supposed to shrink. Um, and shrink up. And so a lot of times people will start their locks where their hair is really long, but then they'll start shrinking up and bunching up on themselves. That doesn't happen when you start them with the right size. This won't happen when you start them with the right size. But what I'm doing is stretching them back out just because the bunches look like balls and it just doesn't look good. And so where I'm able to, I'm just stretching the bunching back out, just stretching it back out because what I do with the locks after today, they won't be doing that anymore. So, yeah, this is just stretching them out because of the bunching, and that only happens when the locks are too small. Because all of her locks don't have the bunching. Some of her locks are an okay size, but the majority of them have this bunching that happens when the lock is too small. It's like it's trying to make itself stronger by collapsing all the hair on itself, when in reality, it just needs more hair in the parting versus the trying to bunch itself up because it's just going to keep doing that. I mean, for years, if they manage to stay on, as you can see, those ones in the front are barely hanging on. So, this is where it gets a little scary for some people. So, just know that I'm doing this with her hairs, with the best intentions for her hair in mind. And I've done this many times over the years where I take locks that are too small and I just reconstruct um, the parts so that they make more sense, so that they make bigger sections so that the locks can actually hang on and not thin out and fall off, which is what happens when the parts are too small. And you'll see it mostly around her edges because the edges are less dense than the rest of the head. So you'll see me making parts. And I have a blade. Right now it's a little bit out of camera, but I'm going to bring it into focus. I'm just parting the hair and looking for parts that make sense. And wherever there's something that doesn't make a lot of sense, I just go in and get go ahead and get rid of it. Like, or just I just basically put a straight part in and then figure out what doesn't go and cut it and move it out of the way. And so instead of just cutting the locks completely off, I like to kind of group them together because they'll lock better that way. When you cut hairs and they're just short hairs, they don't tend to want to lock right away back into the lock that you cut them from. But if you twist, you can cut some hairs out of it and twist the locks together, and they'll lock pretty firmly that like that, usually in a within a couple of appointments. And then um you can cut the extra ones. Like this one's gonna be 3 locks on this one part. And so um she's already came in again, and I already took off a couple of those because her hair locked in these new positions really fast. So for anybody that's like, oh my God, this is going to end badly, I promise. Like she's already been back. Her hair is locked in the new positions already. I've started um, doing more because, some of the ones that I connected were still too small. I just didn't want to do anything too major right away. So I just did some basic reconstruction. You see that bottom row of parts was not nowhere near that straight. And so this one wasn't either, but you'll get to see more of that as we progress. But some of her hairs just, they're barely locking anyway, like some of the thinner ones. So I was able to just move the hair without even pulling that hard. But the hairs that don't want to move, I have to cut to move them. But see here, I'm going to take this lock and tuck it through the other lock that I'm connecting it with. That way they cannot unravel or separate from each other no matter what happens. That way that all the hairs that shed into that new area will make a thicker, stronger lock as it grows out. I can't wait to show you guys her updates. I didn't record the last time she came in, but her hair definitely looked 100% improved, especially around the edges. They're not barely hanging on anymore. But yeah, basically, I just go in and make parts that seem stronger, make areas that kind of like what I would have done if I had a loose head of hair and was able to make starter locks. But I still have to kind of within reason. I don't want to make too many short hairs because, like I said, the short hairs don't lock in easily. It takes some time to get those locked in new positions. But yes, so these already look so much better than how they were. And I know we're probably like, how are they so thin still? Because her hair was never going to make big locks anyway. Her hair is very fine, but you don't need to make teeny tiny partings always. Like sometimes if the hair is thin and fine and it has a tight curl pattern, just because it has a tight curl pattern, that just means it's going to make small locks, but that doesn't mean the partings need to be tiny. With the partings, you need to take into account the thickness of the hair as well, and see how I can only do what I can do within reason. I'm trying to make it a smooth transition because I know that at the next appointment, I'm going to take even more hair from this section. So I'm just going to get a little bit of it and straighten out some parts. And then um, each time I see her, I'm going to be adjusting until one day her parts are going to be straight. And I actually have taken clients from a head full of random parts that don't make any sense into a place where they have some uniformity and some symmetry, but it takes multiple appointments to do that. And so that's, I think, one of the biggest takeaways is that I generally won't do this to the entire head in one appointment. I usually will start with the back couple rows, I'll do those, and then I'll let those lock over the course of a couple months, making sure I'm seeing the client every 3 to 4 weeks so that they can get a chance to lock in the new position. And then once they do, and I'm cutting off the extra ones, you see how this is? There's no way I could just take two and put them together. It just wouldn't make any sense. And so what I'm going to do is steal some hair from both of these because they're wide and rectangular like to make this little tiny one thicker. And so instead of having two wide, skinny locks on the left and one teeny tiny little skinny lock on the right, I'm going to have one lock next to another lock after I'm done here. It's pretty cool. I like to do it. What sucks is that I don't usually have enough time to do it. So if you know you do find your way into my chair and you know you need this, don't not say anything because if you book a regular retwist appointment, I literally, for shorter than shoulder length hair, I have an hour and a half to do a retwist. I can't do a retwist in an hour and a half and do reconstruction. It adds quite a bit of time to each appointment. So be sure to message me and we can discuss before you book for reconstruction. But yeah, so I don't know if you can kind of look and see, but I can look at this when I lay it down and see exactly what I'm going to do before I even do it. I already know I'm going to steal some hair. I'm going to get rid of some of this hair. See, it's too tight to pull, and so I wasn't trying to make that much of a move yet, but I will if I have to. So yeah, we're going to grab the blade. And turn that into just two nice healthy lots instead of four that are struggling. And those are all bunched up too. I should have pulled them. I probably will. I'm speaking in ahead. I might still do it. I know that I tried to straighten out every single one that I could feel was bunched up. I have another video I'm going to do soon where a lady had some interlocking And yeah, I started my music earlier than I was. Okay, so she had some interlocking done where they didn't pull it all the way through, and it looked really terrible. And she had like fat knots halfway down each one of her locks. It looked crazy, but the music was supposed to let me know that I was done yapping. I hope you guys can see what I got going on. I'm gonna keep doing it over the course of this video. But please like, share, and subscribe if this video helped you in any way. The booking information and my website and everything is in the description if you want to check out some other stuff. Watch some of my other videos. I've got a lot of how-tos and tutorials. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.